Let's talk about these two videos right here. This is a video of a kid starting a fire on my porch. This is the cop acknowledging that where the fire was lit could have started my whole house on fire. There was a stack of wood floor to ceiling because this is 3 years ago. Had tore all the sheetrock down, had pulled all the in fact, where I'm standing at right now, the plaster lath was pulled off, and it was all stacked here because I saved it all. Now, you'll notice some of my later videos, this porch doesn't even look the same. That's all been redone. So it's 3 years ago. But this is a fire. Now, there's some details about this. This kid got a phone call in the middle of starting the fire. I'm about a block away from a cell phone tower in Hills, Minnesota. So they could have triangulated that call and found out who made the call and who that was. They could have done this, and they knew this. They knew this. Now here's some interesting details. This kid right here had this little tiny scrawny ass stupid mustache, and you'll see it in the video. You'll see it in the video. And for a while I thought maybe it was a girl. Now, here's an interesting thing. When I came out of my house to confront this, the neighbor whose whole family assaulted me, with a kid as young as 5, the whole family, 2 nights in a row, the second night physically assaulted me. He was sneaking in the house when I was outside confronting this person. Now, this kid is not directly tied. Now wait, I'm gonna tell you how I found out who this kid was. And I provided all this information to the police officer. In fact, I gave him the information to try to help me identify. The sheriff is the one who gave me this kid's information. So he knows who I pointed out. The sheriff knows who I pointed out as having lit this fire. This kid is a relative of the one who was living across the street who threatened me to shoot me in the head multiple occasions on different occasions. And I video recorded him threatening to shoot me in the head. And he said, this kid's relative said he would even unalive his own child if they were gay. Okay? And who else was out? There was other neighbors on the other side of me who were also outside that night that this fire took place. And they mocked me out in the woods. But the thing was, I knew that this person was not the voices of the ones talking in off to the other side. So, long story short, I have hundreds of pieces of information tying these 3 houses together, and it was after looking at the information that there was clusters of stuff happening on all my social media sites, and all 3 of these people were involved. And I've provided this information to the sheriff, who refuses to do anything when I had arson on my front porch. This is the fire on my porch. By a stack of lumber, dry, kindling, 200-year-old old wood, plaster lath, just kindling fire. So, about a year ago, this kid came to my house on a 4-wheeler. I provided the snapshot of the person at my house to the sheriff. And I recognized him because of his mustache. And I called him out, started calling him out on social media. I said, I recognize you, and you know it. And then he shaved off his mustache. He no longer has that stupid ass mustache anymore. This kid right here. Now, this family has a long running history of being meth users. Meth users. His family lived across the street from me for 10 years. I was deathly afraid to ever interact or anything. I tried real hard not to engage at all because of everything I seen. Things like coming in and out at night with great big trailers, unloading and unloading stuff. I don't know what he was doing. I don't know what he's doing. But he was acting real suspicious. in the middle of the night. I mean, all hours of the night, coming and going and bringing stuff in and out of the house. Again, cop acknowledging my house could have started on fire. So when the 9 high school boys came to my house just a little over a year ago, because this was all, again, me talking about these clusters working together. So I run out because they came right to my house. I was outside, came running at them. Video camera in hand because I wanted to capture who these kids were. And I found all 9 of them down by the railroad track. Now, they didn't expect me to come running, and I was running and charging at them. And I stood right there, and then I started saying stuff. I know what you little motherfuckers are doing. And 5 of them took off running right away, and then 4 of them took off just about a half a second later. That's how I was able to count 9 of them, because I could recognize 5 right away. 4 was still standing there, and then they kept running. Now, because of all the excitement and the darkness, I didn't get much of a video. And I'm showing the police officer when he shows up. I'm like, this is the kids. This is what's going on. And he says, you better not do this. I will arrest you. Arrest me for what? Arrest me for trying to prove, to get evidence of being harassed. This sheriff's department has continually, for years, have been turning a blind eye when I've been threatened with murder, I've been assaulted, I've had arson on my front porch, and the list goes on and 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 on. This is my YouTube channel where the video's at. This kid got a phone call in the middle of lighting a fire on my porch, and the sheriff's department didn't want to do anything. Now, on top of that, the former sheriff, I video recorded another neighbor stealing off of my property, and the $4,000 video surveillance system that I had installed into my house, I had that company make me a duplicate that I handed to the sheriff, and he said that wasn't enough proof. You can watch them walk right out of their house and come to my house and steal off of my property, like literally walking right out of their door to my house and steal off my property, and that sheriff said it wasn't enough proof. Yeah. This same sheriff that's currently, one of his deputies I called because my neighbors were chopping down stuff in my yard, and I called and he said he told my neighbor, well, if I were you, I would just cut down all of his stuff. So this deputy encouraged my neighbors to do illegal activity to me. So I'm just like bewildered, and I call the 911 back and said, hey, your deputy is out here encouraging my neighbors to commit more crimes against me. Can I talk to the sheriff? And she said, let me transfer you to him. This was on a Monday. So she transfers me. I leave a message, which she didn't tell me he was on vacation and wouldn't be returning for a week. And she knew that. That same 911 operator, when I was assaulted by the neighbor I was talking about, they hung up on me 3 times because I knew something was about to happen. I could tell because, again, me talking about how these 3 people were watching me. That same night, all this stuff was going on. And they were using drones. I knew something was going down. I called the 911 3 times and she hung up on me. It wasn't until the 4th time, till after I was assaulted, did they send a deputy out. And that deputy didn't do an investigation. He took 1 picture and left, maybe a couple. Meanwhile, he didn't record any of the evidence of like 15, 20-foot scatter marks all over the ground, all over my property. He didn't do that. I kept the film rolling right after he's left because I wanted to prove that the sheriff purposely didn't do a very good investigation and then left. And I find out there was 3 officers on that report, and I only seen 1. I never seen the others. And he said he wouldn't do nothing.